I am so excited to introduce you to today's podcast guest. This person is super special to me. It is my mother-in-law, Becca Bates, but she goes by Button in our family. We're going to talk all things parenting. She had 5 kids who all love Jesus, serve him, and are just really incredible people. I also like to say that all the in-laws that have been grafted in, we're not so bad either. But you're gonna love hearing from her on how she raised these kids. She's gonna give you practical tips for fun things to do with them, how to create close family culture. She's got verses that she's gonna give you just to encourage you in your parenting. And honestly, I don't think there's anybody better to speak on this subject. So enjoy my mother-in-law, Becca Bates. Okay, I've got Button here.
I am so excited, Jamie.
So is everybody else that you found out just before. I always do intro videos at the end. So once we're done talking, I'll film myself and tell everybody we talk about this, so they'll have a little idea of what's coming.
Oh,
but since I never know what's going to happen, I just film them at the end.
Okay.
So,
but fun.
You've had a amazing life.
Yes.
We can't get into all of it because there's too many amazing things, but we are going to go in on parenting.
Okay.
Because I think for anybody who knows our family, Dustin and I, the kids, the extended family, I think that's the number one thing people would want to hear from you because your kids are so awesome. Oh. They're amazing. All my in-loves. This is my mother-in-law, by the way, if that wasn't clear. Yes. Because you raised 5 amazing kids and they all love Jesus.
Yes.
They're all in ministry.
Do.
They married amazing people.
Oh, definitely.
The most amazing people. Dustin does anything for me, doesn't he?
Oh,
remember that?
Man, yes.
Wasn't he? What was it? What happened? He was kind of whining about who am I going to pick and what am I back in his.
We're just thinking, man, I'm not sure who God has for me.
I guess he wasn't whining. That wasn't.
I go, well, why don't you pray about Jamie Klein?
For real. And we didn't even know each other.
I know. Acquaintances.
How
and
bizarre.
He said, good idea.
Because I hadn't even talked to him for years, I don't think. Maybe seen him at the gym while I was tanning.
Yeah. Yeah, that was really amazing.
I have you to thank for all this.
Oh.
You did good. Okay, let's start in your beginnings, though.
Okay.
You were born to grandmom and granddad.
Yes.
Where?
In Everett, Washington.
Okay, so you stayed in Washington the whole time.
Yep.
Did you ever leave?
No.
Oh, wow. Except for...
We went to Spokane.
Okay, yep.
And we went to Tacoma and Centralia and now Salem, Oregon.
Wow.
Yeah.
So you had how many siblings?
I had 4.
4. So we have Aunt Pris.
Yep. And
Drusy. Aunt JJ. No, Aunt JJ is the bottom.
Yes.
The baby.
Yes.
Then Uncle Joel.
Yep.
And then
the
Aunt
one
JJ.
boy.
The one boy.
Yeah. And JJ's in heaven now.
Yeah.
But she was the baby.
She was the baby and all-star auntie.
Oh, for
Those
sure.
videos we were watching.
I know.
Oh, my goodness. It was before she got married, right?
There's nothing like a single aunt.
A single aunt. That's so true. There's nothing better than a single aunt.
It's amazing.
Oh, those were such cool videos. Yeah. Okay, so you were born to granddad and grandmom, and you were raised in ministry.
Yes.
But they were first-generation Christians, is that right?
First generation.
Are you impressed with how much I know about our family?
I am very impressed. Yeah.
First-generation Christians.
Yeah.
And when you were born, were they pastors?
Yes. So they got saved in their 20s.
Okay.
And then got married and went right into ministry and had me 2 years later.
Oh, wait, you're the oldest. I always forget that.
Yes.
Oh, my goodness. Twinsies.
You're the firstborn.
Twinsies. No wonder we get along so well.
I know.
Okay, so you're born into ministry.
Yes.
Obviously, that was a different time, but ministry is ministry. Was that a good experience?
Very positive for me.
Yeah.
I always
Was it for the siblings too?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. It was, our parents were very good at, I found out a lot of things later of difficulties and things, but I kind of sailed through loving it.
That's so cool.
And they didn't put pressure on us, all of that. And I thought I wanted to marry a pastor.
Really?
Yeah. That's what I wanted to do.
I didn't know that. That was your dream?
Yes.
Oh, my goodness. Was it because of your dad?
I probably. positive
He was the
experience.
most amazing man.
Yeah.
I never got to meet him. I came to the family a year, I think, after he passed.
Yeah. You would have been best friends.
We would have loved each other, I know. So you want to marry a pastor. That is so cute.
Yeah.
Then you find Boppy, who's my father-in-law. His real name is Bill, though he goes by Boppy.
Yeah.
They're Boppy and Button. The first grandchild, little Paisley, named them, and we all just kept going with it.
Yes, we love it.
So you meet Bops.
Yes.
And was he a pastor at the time?
No.
Okay.
We were 14. My dad went to pastor the church where he and his family were. And that's how we met.
At 14?
Yeah.
Oh, my word.
And we started going out at 18 and got married 5 years later. And he was going
because it was
into
to get through school, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So did he want to be a pastor on his own just randomly? Or were you like,
no,
hey, let's think about this?
He started out wanting to be in wild fisheries, game,
that
all
sounds
of that.
right. Yeah.
But God kept working on him and definitely called him.
Wow. So did you always want to be a mom?
You know, I've got to say, when we were going out, I didn't even think about it.
Really?
Yeah, I really didn't think about it.
You were just having fun.
But I love, family and all of that.
Yeah.
And when we had our first, I never imagined having 5.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, we'll have to tell the Whitney story later.
Okay.
But you just, number one was Lindsay.
Yes.
Was she quick after getting married? Or was there
2 years?
2 years after. Okay.
Yeah.
So you got Lindsay, and then comes Dustin.
Yep.
What? Okay, so and I had Dustin on the podcast. I was asking if he could remember all the name meanings.
Oh, yeah.
And Ryan's is the only one he could remember.
Okay.
Little King. So you got to tell us. Lindsay is
refreshing spirit.
Refreshing spirit.
Dustin, brave fighter.
Brave fighter.
Ryan, little king.
Yep.
Casey, courageous leader. Wow. And Whitney, seeker of wisdom.
Seeker of wisdom. Okay.
Yeah.
Dustin thought it was something about joy, I think, if I remember right.
That is her middle name.
That's her middle name. So you have these 5 kids. You're pastoring a church. Well, we'll start, I guess, with the first batch, pre-Whitney. So you have the 4, and do you just love it?
Yes.
Do you stay at home?
Yes. I was a stay-at-home, and they went everywhere with us. It was
you
those
were youth
days.
pastors, right?
Yeah.
For some of them?
We were youth pastors when Lindsay and Dustin were born.
Okay, wow.
Yeah. So they went all over. They went to Disneyland. They went on trips, senior trips, all of that.
Oh, my goodness. So they loved it.
Yeah. Well, they were too little.
Fun perks, yeah. Oh, my goodness. So you have the kids, and you took well to it. Did you have any postpartum depression or any sort of what have I done?
No, I loved it all.
Yeah, just right away.
I thought every month was more fun than the first.
Really? Oh,
I did.
Okay, so you have them, and you eventually become lead pastors.
Mm-hmm.
And as they're growing up, how old was Lindsay when Whitney came? How far apart are they?
11 years.
Okay, so what happened, correct, you jump in on the story, but you had the 4, and you guys were done.
Yes.
And so Boppy had what is it called?
Vasectomy. Yeah.
And then what happened?
Well, I kind of just went along with it and thought, I guess.
Yeah.
I had my hands full.
Yeah.
And one day it hit me. I wanted another baby, and I started grieving, grieving.
Wow.
And I'll make it really quick, on my face, just saying, God, is there any way, like that? And he gave me a word, and I knew the essence of it was the root is still alive.
Oh, wow.
And for me, that was a rhema word. Yeah. And I thought, God, you're going to do something. Wow. I didn't want to tell him because I didn't want him to feel guilty and feel horrible. So I just prayed and prayed. And all of a sudden he said, I was thinking, what do you think about adopting? And I thought, there's the door. So long story short, the Lord worked. He went through a reversal, and we had Whitney.
And then comes Whitney Joy.
And I don't know what we would have done.
Can you imagine?
Without her. No.
Can you imagine?
And we wanted another one, but God never gave us any more.
Oh, Whitney was meant to be on the earth.
Yeah.
Okay, so you've got all 5, and I want to go back to the story you just told about crying out on your face, crying out. That's a real theme of your life.
Yes.
And I guess I would imagine it has a lot to do with parenting too. A lot of crying out to God.
Every parent experiences it.
You cry out to something.
Yes.
So because I just know you so well, I know that's like such a theme of yours is you go before God, you cry out, you get a word, and you believe. Would you say that's your go-to?
The Rhema words have been my...
The Rhema. Can you explain what a Rhema word is?
To me, a Rhema word is when something jumps out at you out of the word or that God speaks to your heart that pertains to your situation. What you're... different than
speaks directly into the moment.
And so it can be out of context in the word. It's a word to you.
Like lifted off.
Yes, that's it. It just goes round and round inside of you and you know.
Wow. Can you remember a time with the kids and parenting where you had to like heavy duty cry out to God?
Yeah.
And you got... Is there anything you can share without them getting mad at us?
Well, as you know, Jamie,
you can use Dustin.
I am very preventive.
Yes, you are.
I am. And that can be an irritation. So I was very...
To the kids.
Yeah. Very zealous about trying to train and warn them of things that could happen in their lives. Yeah. And so Dustin's probably told this, but many times... Before he would come home, I'd be down in his room praying. Yeah. And it wasn't necessarily that he was doing anything. Right. I just didn't want him to.
You're going to make sure he did.
Yeah. And I did that with all the kids. And my poor daughter, Lindsay, she got, we homeschooled all of them. She walked to the school for driver's ed. And a boy gave her a note.
Oh, no.
She brought it home. And... Of course, I burnt it.
You've got to burn that sometime.
Now I wish I had it. And I'm sure she was
I wish we had it.
What? But I was like, because he was a different religion that we don't.
So you just took a match. You took a match.
I am laying axe to the root of this.
So would they get mad at you? Or were they just like, oh, Mom... It's Mom.
I think there would be irritation.
Frustrations. You know. Maybe not mad, but
I was more zealous about the outcome than I was if they were mad at me at the time. Yeah. So I bore the brunt of that sometimes.
Yeah, sure. Well, it worked. It worked. Yeah. So when they were little, what are some things like for like my season of life that you did as a family that you think really, really helped bond you guys? Okay. Because our family's tight.
Yes.
So tight. So how did you cultivate, you know what I mean? Like an environment where they were so close and you were all so close. And what were like some fun things? Because you're a ministry, you're so busy, you're going and going and going. They're now joining you in ministry, you're going and going. For the little ones, how did you start that? Were you intentional?
Yes, we were intentional with vacations, even when they were tiny. Yeah. We always did vacations or always did fun things with them and had meal times. And
would you do meal times every night?
Yeah, when they were little, you know, it would be them in the high chair. But as they grew, we tried. We tried to do that, even some kind of family time. And my husband would always, as they got older, always in the mornings, led them in devotions and prayer.
Oh, wow. Every morning. Yeah. You'd all sit around.
Yeah. Even the little ones. Wow. We had sit.
So you'd read the Bible? Would he read?
He would read.
He would read. Okay.
And kind of teach them a little and then pray.
Oh, they would pray.
Yeah.
Themselves. Like every single one?
Yeah. As well they could. Yeah. Yeah. But he'd do that before he would leave.
Okay. And then you would start homeschooling.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. Well, it was funny because when Dustin and I had just gotten together, I remember Whitney, she must have been at that time, 18 or 19? She was young. Probably. And I remember she was playing too much tennis, he thought, or something random. Yeah. And he was like, Whitney needs to be home more. We need more family time. And I'm like, wow. Now that I have two boys, I'm like, I will give all my money for them to be like, we need more family time.
Yeah. I was always drawing them in.
He's 25 and he's like, we need to rally here. We need to get together. Like, what a cool, because so many people go different directions.
Right.
Which some ways that's not bad or good, but I love the way that you cultivated that closeness. Like, what do you mean draw them in?
Like if they were out, missing too much family time, we would say, guys, we called it family time, or, we need to get together. That was really.
Would you do fun stuff too?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like on family night, we would watch a movie or we'd go for a walk or a bike ride or have them pick things. But we did a lot. Everything, our family was our focus.
Yeah.
And we were very much involved in church, but they were right along with us. So.
How did you do, again, talking to the little ones, then we'll move up to the teens. Oh boy. How did you handle fighting? You know what I mean? Like when they were toddlers, or fighting or disagreements or that phase where it's like they can just get at each other. I wasn't prepared for that. I wasn't prepared for all the injuries. So many injuries for little ones. And I wasn't prepared for the fighting. I was prepared for the whining. But how do would you talk to them? Would you set them down? Would you make them sort it out? Would you?
I wouldn't let anything go by. Yeah. So if there was an incident, we dealt with it. I would never just say, quit fighting, anything. I would talk to them and try to bring this is your brother, your sister. You die for them. Yeah. So you treat them well. Yeah. And I think every kid fights with their, but they really turned into best friends. Yeah. They really did. And they responded well.
Really?
Yeah.
So would they say
to
sorry?
Getting along. Yes.
Okay.
And it wasn't sorry. It was, will you forgive me?
That's
because
good.
That is a change of behavior. Sorry is if you spill your milk.
Right.
But repentance is saying, will you forgive me? And hearing the other one respond.
Wow. Would you make the other one respond or give them time if they wanted? The other day, because I do the same thing, and Jen, I think it was Jude, had said, I'm sorry, will you forgive me? And Genesis goes, I want to be alone. Don't look at me.
I would give them space.
Okay, so you don't force it.
Yeah. I wanted it to be from when they're ready.
Yeah, from their hearts. Okay.
But we're not going to move on.
You give them space and then rally back around or circle back around to, are you ready to forgive?
Yeah, because that's true with us as adults. Yep. It's hard to immediately, So.
What are some fun ways you taught them about Jesus? Or some practical little, do you remember?
A lot of nature stories, because with the homeschool, with our curriculum, there was a lot of that. Oh. Like animals and, how God created and what they did that has to do with character.
Well, that's cool.
A lot of character, we really focused on.
So you would take an animal,
Yeah, I didn't do it, but or like the lion, courageous, and protects his.
Yeah, so you make it fun.
Yeah, wow. It was fun.
Oh, that's cool. What else?
Let's see, what else did we do? We had them act out little Bible stories, things like that. At Christmas, they'd dress up, Mary and Joseph, and
just in the living room.
Yeah, and if we went on vacation, we would do it on a Sunday morning. If we didn't go,
if you didn't go to church,
yeah, we'd have our own little service. So somebody would lead songs, somebody would do testimony, things like that.
Oh, that's great. I love that. What other little things?
It was fun.
Oh, tell them about your Easter tradition.
Oh, yes. All of my grown children mourn that I'm not there on Easter.
She gets lit up for this every year. And my first year in the family, I was like, this is the coolest, cutest thing I've ever seen. And they're all I think it's a long-standing joke now,
it
though.
Is.
Okay, so
it's
every
kind
Easter,
of like when your dad reads the Christmas story and you want to open gifts. No. Anyway, it's it's pretty common, but you get plastic eggs and put in it a little representation for everything about Easter.
Yep.
Like the cross, like the little whip, the stone, all of that. And then the last egg is empty because the tomb is empty. So we'd go around and everybody would get a few eggs and they'd explain what it meant. And they really loved it when they were growing up, but now they tease me.
No. Oh my goodness. I just love that so much. I was like, that's the cutest thing I've ever.
I know.
It's such a great way to like, there's got to be other, like maybe there's like, we should go into business and do Christmas eggs.
That's a good idea. Ornaments.
Here at the church, we should, what do you call it when you get the rights to something? What's the word? You patent it. You should patent like 21 days of prayer and fasting eggs.
Hey, there you go, Jane.
Oh my goodness, I love it. Okay, what any other like little fun family things just making like Jesus and church and life, Christianity a fun, happy thing and not a big heavy?
Yeah. Well, I think like birthdays and things, we've really taught them to bless.
Yes.
Which is what Christianity is all about. And so birthdays, we did different things. Like when we went on vacation, I'd have them pick a name and they had to pray that day for that person. And then that night come up with a verse for them or a way to bless them. And then on birthdays, we'd all go around and bless the other ones.
Yeah.
And I loved it because they were learning and you can see the DNA here at Church 1132 comes with blessing others and honoring and
you taught them to honor each other.
Yeah.
Early on.
Yes. And the kids would just glow when one of the others said, you're kind, or it made them want to rise up to what they were.
So what would the difference be between like an affirmation and a blessing? Would you say? Or like what makes a blessing a little bit more of like a spiritual act versus like you're cute, you know, you were nice today.
It
you
would
did good
be
in school.
More about who you are. You know?
That's good, yeah.
Like you're a blessing to me because I see you're patient and you persevere, you're a hard worker.
Yes.
That makes somebody want to do more.
Yeah.
And the other's important too. You're so pretty. That makes you feel good.
Right.
But it doesn't make you...
Recognizing something inside.
Yes. Something of character.
Yeah. And we do the, when I say we, I'm talking about our family, now that I've been grafted in. We do another thing with blessing time that sometimes, I'm trying to remember what it is now, but because we do that and then, a lot of the times we'll bless somebody with like a word for the year.
Yes.
Or, and that kind of goes back to probably when they were little and you had them do the little, papers and.
Right. Like.
Get a word for them.
Like I bless you on their birthdays. Yep. Like this year I bless you with success in something you're trying to do. Yeah. Or, something like that.
Yeah.
Because if you tell someone, a child, I can see you doing this, so many people in life, that's where it first started inside of them when someone said, I can see you.
Yeah.
Saying things before they ever were.
Would you speak over them intentionally?
Yes.
All the time?
Yes. I used
Not
to
just pray, but say it to him.
Yeah. Like I spoke over Dustin many times because I knew it. I said, there is something swirling around in you and it's the prophetic and it's going to come out.
Wow.
And things like that.
Yeah.
I could see Ryan as solid and strong and just all of them.
Yeah.
Would speak those things.
Yeah. When they were like little?
Yeah.
Wow.
We both did that.
Wow. Would you always speak the same thing over them?
No.
Or you different things for different?
Yeah. If they were discouraged about something, I would want them to see what the opposite.
Yes.
And I'm just speaking for me now. This was a team.
Yeah. Yes. Oh, sure.
Team thing.
We know Bobby did his fair share.
Oh, yeah.
He's such an awesome dad.
So
So, okay, I had another question about the blessing because it's such a cool concept. It probably takes some real intention though, to sit down and for everybody to,
Yes, when they were all asked
yes.
to. Yeah, we wanted them, it had to be meaningful.
Yeah.
Not just, you're nice.
Right, right. Okay, so talk to me about you did things your way. Meaning you and Boppy did things your way when it came to parenting.
Yes.
And there were things that your kids did not do and could not do because you didn't feel like it would be best for them.
Right.
How do you combat other people in your church or other friend groups or other siblings that make different choices? How do you stay true to like your own, you know what I mean? Like your own family while at the same time, you know what? Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And was that ever hard when they wanted to go date or when they wanted to go whatever, on a trip and you just didn't have a piece about it or whatever the case could be? How do you know?
Well,
and do you change it based on kids? Or was it just kind of like
it was based on what was going to happen.
Gotcha.
What atmosphere they might be in. And it wasn't, you could handle this, but you can't.
Okay, yep.
We tried to be consistent.
You were really careful about atmospheres?
Yes. Very careful. Because I think they're powerful.
Yeah.
And that's why we tried to keep them in the presence of the Lord as much as we could.
Yeah.
And make it fun.
Right.
Not,
right.
But it was hard when maybe another family had a different standard because we were pretty, now I look back and think, man, were we too much this way?
Yeah.
You always do.
You always do. I'm already
But we did the best we knew at the time.
Yeah.
And it meant more to me to keep them from certain things than to keep people happy.
Yeah.
So, and some would get frustrated because they didn't understand.
Like the kids or other people?
No, like maybe other parents.
Oh, yeah.
Like, that means that what we're doing isn't good if you don't want your kid,
Yeah.
But
you have to, you got to protect your own family at the risk of somebody possibly feeling looked down on or judged, which you wouldn't do anyways, but can be
it's just a feeling you get, you know? But they had great friends. We loved having, my favorite, probably every parents, is having other kids over because then they're in your atmosphere and all of that. But they loved that.
Yeah. Were you picky about friends?
Yes, because friends is the most influential thing that will ever come into their lives. Especially, I was telling you that 4 to 11 are the years that mom and dad are everything.
Yes.
A principal shared this with Bill. 11 to 15, it turns to friends. And then 15 and up is activities. Wow. So once that switch comes, where it's not just, I want mom and dad. It's, I don't want to go on vacation. I want to be with so-and-so.
Yeah.
It is very important.
You got to lay the groundwork.
Yes.
Right.
They're friends.
Well, did any of them ever want to be friends with somebody and you were like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that wasn't, that they didn't really understand, but later they did.
Yeah.
Later they did. I remember one of them had a friend that wanted him to go to it was end of the year party at the school. And we did not feel good about it and said no. And it was like not a happy thing. And later, I think a few months later, the friend that had invited one of them came and said, I'm so glad they didn't come because it was a bad atmosphere and not good. So going with your instincts.
Yeah.
I used to have to make a decision and walk away or I'd sit there and second guess.
Right.
Because I had a couple persuasive ones.
Yeah, you do. You really do, don't you?
Yes.
Oh my goodness. Was there ever a time where you saw Dustin, we'll use Dustin because he won't care because he tells these stories, like where you saw him kind of flailing in the sense of like, or any of them, like just flailing in the sense of like, not even maybe bad decisions, but like, like the time he got cut from the team or did like emotion, watching your kids go through something hard, a breakup, a cut from the team, a friend group kicking him out, or there's so many things that as a parent, you just want to protect them from, but you can't.
No.
Things happen, life happens. So how did you walk them through like life pain when it started to hit?
That's a key word, walk.
Yeah.
I had to walk with them and let them process and get mad or sad or whatever. But there was nothing I could do to fix it. You know, prayed a lot, just let them know how much we cared for them. Our love was there. We think they are not ever cut material, you know, things like that.
Yeah.
But that is very hard. Probably harder on a parent.
Probably. I'm dreading.
Than the kid. Oh, yeah. But there were many of those times with all five.
Yeah. I'm sure.
Yeah.
Oh. So when it comes to moving into the teen years, were you excited for those?
I was excited.
You love young people, right?
Yes, and I love the youth. Yes. And because I was always a part of it, when I was there, it was not unusual for them. Like some parents say, if I went to camp, my kids would hate it, or that's just
all they knew.
That's all they knew. Yeah. And their friends loved us and we had fun and all of that. So all of that went well. But I noticed the teen years, it took a lot more effort to keep closeness.
Interesting.
With the kids because so many things pulling on them. And like I said, friends became the priority. Yeah. And so we tried to be friends with their friends. We wanted them to like us too. And we really intentionally talked to them. Like I would sit on their beds at night.
Or the kids?
Our own kids in the teen years. Yep. Would be in their rooms, making sure we talked. Always taking a drive.
Yeah, you do. Drives are your specialty.
Yeah. Always, let's go get something fun and let's talk. A funny story on Whitney.
Yes.
I would try to draw her out. And she some days didn't want to talk. And I thought, what can I do? And I said, you know what, Whit? How about you tell me when we take a drive, is this a looking day or a talking day?
Oh, that's cool.
And so days she didn't feel like talking, I'd say, is this a looking day? She'd say so yes, cool. Which took the pressure off.
Yeah.
And then she'd usually end up talking.
Right. Yeah. That's what I need somebody to do. Like,
yeah. Do you
is
feel
this a looking day or
right.
a talking day?
Because I didn't want to force it.
Right.
And she didn't want to be forced.
Yeah. But you were just there. You found ways to be there.
Yeah.
And adjust to maybe a personality that doesn't. I'm sure Dustin would talk the whole time, and you could.
Different.
The two of you could just talk for hours, but there might be a different personality. Right. It's like they just want you close.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then with Casey, during school, sometimes I'd say, Casey, we're going to take a drive. And then she would open up and just talk and talk and talk. Lindsay, I needed to give her space. Yeah. You know, so they were all different.
Yeah.
Just, I had to learn because my personality is wake up in the morning. Hi, how are you?
Tell me everything you dream in the night.
And a couple of them say, we need to wake up first.
Just learn having the knowledge of what they need and who they are.
Yeah. They're all so different.
I love that.
And it's a job for a parent.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. What are some of your parenting verses? That you like?
Train up a child in the way. Do not associate with an angry person in Proverbs. I used to teach them if somebody is angry, that's not a guy you want to be around or a friend you want to hang out with.
That's great.
Lots of Proverbs.
Yeah.
Trust in the Lord with all your heart and don't try to figure everything out.
Yeah.
Honor your parents and it's going to go well with you. Things like that.
Yeah.
Proverbs is great for every subject you can think of.
Yeah.
Honesty, treating others well, treat others as you would want to be. Those kinds of things.
So you would use verses a lot.
Oh, yeah. I would. All of them probably still have little verses I put on their bed.
Oh, you did?
Taped on their bed.
Like just wrote out?
Yep.
Oh.
I would write out things and put them in there before texting, you know.
Oh, yeah. That's funny. Now you just text them to us.
Now, the first day of every new month, I send them a verse.
Wow.
And a little blessing.
Wow.
Yeah.
So what would like an example? Can you pull up one and read it to us? Do you have your phone with you?
Yeah, my phone's over there in my bag.
I want to just give
It's in my black bag.
Because for everybody who doesn't know, Button has a text ministry. She has lots of ministries, but she has a text ministry. Yeah. She is the best texter.
Oh,
I'll put her number out for you all.
No, I really do love that.
Thanks so much, man. But you find time. Sometimes you're in the car. Sometimes you're at a stoplight or in a drive-through, and you just go and bless. You go bless.
If I can,
blessing.
Get back to
the first. Yeah, that's going to be a problem.
I only have all the a few more to go here
till the new month. I love that. These are such cool practical things for parents, you know, like that you just sometimes don't think about. Like, I'm not a creative person, and so I don't always think. I steal ideas, you know, because I'm not going to come up with them. Genesis wants to be a tooth for Halloween. And
be a what?
A tooth. Jude's going to be Black Panther.
Awesome.
I'm like, easy. $13 on Amazon. It's done. I go, Jen, what do you want to be? A tooth?
Wow.
So I'm like, because Jude just lost his tooth. So it's all the rage in the house right now. And so I get on Amazon. There's no tooth. And I'm like, I can't make a tooth. Like, I'm not creative, artsy, crafty, like, I can't do this. Luckily, our children's director, Amber, is amazing. And she's going to make him a tooth. How funny is that? And then when I told him there's no tooths on Amazon, or teeth, whatever. I was like, there's not on Amazon. And he goes, okay, I'll just be a broken tooth then.
That's hilarious.
But all that to say, I like to steal these ideas because these are things that some people just don't come up with, but they're so powerful and they're easy to incorporate.
Yes.
And especially to people with adult children. This is a cool thing to stay connected. Okay, so let's read an example of one.
This was September 1st. I focus on this one thing, forgetting the past and looking forward to what lies ahead. A brand new month, September 1st. God has such good things planned for you. Just that.
That's amazing.
Just simple.
Just simple blessing. Yeah. And they're not little anymore. Their spirits know their spirits are so trained on how to take a blessing in. Yeah. And believe words of life spoken over them. They love them. Yeah. They love them. Oh my goodness, that's amazing.
I need to add you because Kim told me.
Die on there.
She said, if I ever got one of those, I'd feel a part of the family. So now she gets one.
Oh,
I better add you, Jamie.
Do you do it as a group text or do you?
No.
You do individually.
I don't like group text.
Yeah. No.
You know?
Yeah. You like that one-on-one.
Yeah. I like their name and I may use.
Oh yeah, you put talk about how you put names in. Like you'll do a verse and then like insert.
Oh yeah,
you know?
Like I would like, let's say, I'm trying to think of one, but instead of like, the Lord has good plans for you. His plans are good for you. I'd put the Lord's plans are good for Casey or Lindsay to make it a first person type ththing.
That's so cool. Okay, so moving on into the teen adult years. So I love it because you've been through so many seasons of life. Then you're all so tight. You're in ministry. Actually, I'll ask you this and then I'll ask you a follow-up question. So many people have so many kids have bad experiences that are raised in ministry. So many. It's a statistic that I'm thinking and hoping and believing is changing. But it's a pretty prevalent story.
Yeah.
And what did you do different?
I think it's the grace of God.
Really?
I really do. But
you had to have done some things to help it along.
Well, they did. They all naturally loved ministry, which was interesting.
And do you think that was just truly like something on them, a call? Or were you careful about making it a happy thing and a happy place?
We wanted it to be a happy thing and a happy place. And when we needed something in the church, like Lindsay became the worship leader because we didn't have one.
Yeah.
And we thought she could do it.
Yeah.
And things like that happened. You know, we pastored together, our family.
As the family.
We did.
Yep.
But there's one thing, my dad used to pray for us. And one of the things he prayed was God thrust them into full-time ministry. But God dealt with him and he changed it. And he said, God, fulfill your purpose in their life.
Good.
So never did we want them to feel like we expect them to be pastors. Yeah, we don't expect them to marry a pastor. We want what God has, because whatever that is, they will be in ministry.
That's what's going to make them. Yeah. And
so
they will be.
No pressure.
That's so good.
We did not want to do that.
That's so good.
Yeah.
Did you ever have to like protect them from people in the sense of like being mean or kind of giving them, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah, there's always that. But for the most part, they really won the hearts of our people.
Yeah.
They really did. They really interacted with the adults and loved them. They loved them. So that was a blessing, because I have heard horror. We were voted out of a church once, and all our kids were ready to go to war.
Yeah.
But it turned out good.
Wow.
It worked out. And so they're very loyal.
Yeah.
But I didn't see that scar them at all. And we didn't want it to.
Right.
That was just life, you
Yeah.
know?
So when they are older and they start being interested in boys, girls, because this is anybody with a teenager.
Oh, yeah.
How do you navigate, one, sexuality?
Yeah. Okay.
And how do you, with a person that's coming into their own, you know?
Right.
How do you navigate sex? Or did you? And how did you walk through the season of, okay, like it's time for them to date, or it's not time?
Yeah.
You know, does that go back to like your instincts as a mom? Or did you have like a set thing like, hey, at 18 we can talk about this, or no?
But we did try to teach them, until you have the means to make something permanent with someone, then enjoy life.
Yeah.
Have lots of friends and all that, which to a teen is like, oh, brother, you know?
Right.
But we really tried to instill in them, if you can't, for the boys, you don't even have a job or know which way you're going. Why would you want to get seriously involved with someone?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
So we tried to make the priority of, you need to know where you're going and things like that. And it was hard, because they're beautiful and they, you know, people saw
had chances. Yeah.
them. But they had a lot of friends, a lot of fun. And by the grace of God, every one of them married the one God had for them.
Yeah.
I mean, if any of you guys, you know, Ryan and Kim, you know, Dustin and Jamie, Lindsay, anybody that knows them will say they are with the person they were supposed to be.
Oh, yeah.
It's amazing.
For sure.
Yeah. So I think maybe it was more words than a heart thing at first. But then as they got older, they started teaching it.
Yeah.
To, you know.
Yeah.
We were probably way more over here.
Yeah.
Which I've told all the kids, were we too hard? Dustin says we probably needed it.
He did.
But, yeah. But I have to know that we just did what we thought at
the time. Right. It was right.
Yeah. But I respect whatever you guys are going to do with your
you guys are
children.
really good about that.
And I want to.
Yeah.
Unless, do you remember me telling you, if I ever see one of them treating the other like dirt, I don't care how mad you get. I'm stepping in.
I love that so much. I think that's something you and Boppy do really, really good, though, is you let us all you've really let us figure life out.
Yeah. And I rest in that.
You've never been in their business or been, meddled or given. So many people have horrible experiences with just meddling and dramatic and dysfunctional families that were all swept up and I mean, you guys have been so good and so easy.
We trust
to be.
I think we trust who God is in you. We trust you, and we know if you ever needed advice, you will come for it.
Yeah.
So it's kind of a freeing thing to rest in that. Now, if I saw you guys, if we saw you going off the deep end or something. Your parents, our parents, all of the kids' parents would be involved.
Yeah. So. That's so good. Another question is you had a great mom and dad.
Yes.
Like amazing people.
Yes.
Tell me something that they did when you were a kid. Something that's just like a good memory or something that.
Okay. My dad always, let's go have a father-daughter talk.
Oh.
Always. My mom, I wish we could do something. Let's go.
Oh,
always.
Like always raring
up
to
for,
go.
Let's go, that kind of thing. And then a lot of the things that I shared earlier, I learned from them. We had vacations. We learned to bless. My dad affirmed all of us to our dying day.
Yeah.
I mean, when I had my first baby and was raising him, how did they learn to do all these things? What? Or your husband is such an amazing, I mean, all the time. He just, because he grew up with none.
Oh, wow. So it's important to him.
And he integrated that into his life.
Wow.
And so if you know any of our siblings, they're all kind of, oh, you are just the
best thing that ever happened.
So all of that,
wow.
Prayer, I'd hear my mom in the night.
Really? Praying?
Wow. Just their consistent example of I saw them do good to others when they were treated wrong, things like that. Yeah. But always had a close-knit family.
Yeah.
And so my kids now say that my siblings and I, they say, we have never seen anybody so close. But we are.
You are.
It's just,
it's cool how that can be passed down.
Yeah.
And encouraging for people who maybe came from a family like granddad's where they have no frame of reference for good parenting.
Right.
And he changed the whole course of a legacy.
My mom didn't either.
Oh, she didn't?
Her dad was an alcoholic and they were not Christians.
Yeah.
So for those of you that are just starting out, be encouraged.
Yeah. That's so good.
Like Dustin preached, it's never too late for a miracle.
So good. Button, I love you. Thank you so much. Will you come back on and talk about other things sometime?
I would love it.
We can talk. We didn't get to the pumpkin patch.
That's one of the
we
talking
didn't get to
places.
Chai lattes.
I know it.
Give your really complicated Starbucks order really quick.
Oh,
or your drink.
Well, it used to be
the old one.
Yes.
Yeah.
It was a big train, spiced chai, extra chai, non-fat milk, extra hot, please, and cinnamon.
Oh man, I love it when you put your order in.
Too much sugar, though.
Oh,
so I had to quit that.
So,
my niece is famous, though.
Oh, that's right.
Starbucks. She created the Cinderella latte.
So cool.
And it is pumpkin spice, half white chocolate mocha.
Oh, wow.
And it's
Sounds
going
amazing.
viral. So try it.
Oh, my goodness. Okay, well, with that button, I love you. Thanks for loving me.
Oh, you are
Thanks for
easy.
mentioning my name that one night in 1990.
And I always say, I loved
2005.
you before Dustin ever did.
That's true. It's really true. Oh, I loved you before him, too. He's taking top cake now. It took us a couple years. Well, I'll end with this because I always tell people, there's only one person I can talk bad about Dustin. And it's his mom. Because not that I talk bad about him. There's one person that I can vent or complain.
I'm not going to change my opinion.
Yeah, because your opinion's not going anywhere of me or him.
Right.
Like you're the safest place in the whole world and the total vault. So I love you so much. Thank you for this.
I loved it.
And
Thanks,
off to tennis.
Okay.